range. He can put the ball on the floor. He can do turnarounds. He has one of the best footworks inside.
You have no idea how good Tim Duncan was. Oh my God.
All right, so in today's video, we're going to be making the Tim Duncan build, the greatest power forward of all time. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this build today in the My Player Builder. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's go. Alrighty, so let's start working on this Tim Duncan build. This build is obviously going to be at the power forward position. Height's going to be 7 foot, weight 250 pounds with a 7'5" wingspan. Now, Tim Duncan is listed at 6'11", but you just get way more attributes going 7 foot. And the badges that you get at 6'11" in comparison to 7 foot aren't really things that a Tim Duncan build needs. You don't need strong handle. You don't need shifty shooter. Those aren't Tim Duncan type of badges. He was definitely more like a low mid post type of guy. But yeah, now let's get started with today's video. So we're going to start things off here in the finishing. Close shot's going to be an 87. That's going to get you hook specialist and float game on goal. 70 driving layup, get you bronze physical finisher, get you some layup packages. You can use Zion, Ben Simmons, default big, whatever you want to use. 65 driving dunk, 81 standing dunk for the basic big man standing contact dunks. Also get you silver rise up, and then an 87 post control, which gets you a bunch of badges, which include post fade phenom on gold, post powerhouse on gold, post up poet on gold. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of really good post scoring badges on this build with this rating. And now let's take a look at some of the finishing highlights. You know, finishing wise on this build, things are going to be really solid. The 80 standing dunk, the high close shot, you're going to be able to make contested layups, contested close shots, standing dunk, driving dunk really well. And the post game is always a really nice thing to have. I think the 87 post control is a perfect sweet spot to get some decent post control on the build. Gold post up poet, the gold post up powerhouse, whatever the badges are called. It's really just back down punisher and drop stepper and dream shake and post spin technician and whatever. Why we changed those badges names, I have no idea. But as you can see, we are using a post scoring takeover on this build. Now, I was just using barbecue chicken just to use a post scoring takeover, but you do get the fundamental takeover on this build, which I'm pretty sure is just like a Tim Duncan player specific takeover. They just didn't want to call it anything other than, you know, the fundamental. Okay, so now moving on to the shooting, we have an 85 mid-range shot that gets you silver dead eye. You're gonna get, again, post fade phenom on gold, and you're gonna have a 60 3-point shot on this build. Now, if I went any higher, I couldn't get shades of Tim Duncan on this build, but if you want to go higher, you're more than welcome to do that. But I just did this just to get shades of Timmy, and this was just the highest 3-pointer that I could do it with. Now, if you want, you could try and go smaller wingspan to get a higher midi, but since I wanted to get the longer wingspan with Tim Duncan, I just went with the 85 midi. You could go higher, but I think 85 is going to be perfectly fine. Free throw is going to be a 71, and now let me just show you a couple shooting highlights really quickly on this build. And now let's get to some shooting highlights really quickly. We're going to see everything when it comes to mid-range scoring, when it comes to the shooting highlights. We have the standstill catch and shoots. We could even catch and shoot from 3. That's me just being a decent shooter, though. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. It is kind of difficult to shoot with a lower rating, but you can get the job done. But yeah, the 85 midi is going to be good for the standstill catch and shoot middies. You can attack off the dribble a little bit in the mid-range, and then in the post game, you have the post fades, the post hop shots, shimmy fades, whatever you want to get to. You're going to be able to get to that in the post very easy. I genuinely think the 85 mid-range shot is just the perfect threshold in this game, just in general. That was a close shot clip there. I don't know how that slipped through to the shooting highlights, but hey, that's still in there. But yeah, 85 mid-range shot is just so good on this game. We're going to back this out really quickly. He's going to give me the fade, so we just back up down, turn around, and fade. Green. No problem. And one thing that I will say, too, that definitely does make this easier. Obviously, post-scoring takeover, when you have it, it's going to make it easier for you to hit your fades. But once you learn how to rhythm shoot post fades, too, that's going to be something to add to your game that's going to make it way easier to hit these fades. I mean, we're hitting a tight, contested post fade right there. It just becomes easier to make your fades once you start stick shooting them. And I don't know, they just become really easy to time. And obviously, the catch and shoot middies are just going to be knocked down. The banks are open, as always, on a Tim Duncan build. Now, let's move on to the playmaking. Okay, so for the playmaking, we don't really have a crazy amount going here. We got a 75 pass axe, silver break starter, silver dimer. If you want to go a little bit higher, go to like 82 for gold dimer or 87 for gold break starter, you can. Because Tim Duncan was a good passer. Like, he would pass to an open man, but he wasn't like the Nikola Jokic's of the world. You feel what I'm saying? So 75, I think, is perfectly fine. Rest of this is not going to be a whole lot. 42 is just the ball handle. handle brought up by the post control, and then 40 speed with ball for normal dribble style, which I think is still really nice to have. And yeah, that's it for playmaking. Now for the defense, okay? Now I had to make sure I spent a decent amount on the defensive end with this build. So we're gonna have 88 interior defense. I did a poll. I asked you guys how high I should go on the interior defense for this build. You guys said 88. Me personally, I wanted to go 94 or 99 because Tim Duncan is an amazing interior defender. I think 88 doesn't do justice, but I understand how this game is. We could just go 88. It's perfectly fine. Get you gold post move lockdown, gold off-ball pass, 62 perimeter defense for bronze immovable enforcer, 60 steal for bronze interceptor, the standard footer type things, 88 block for gold high flying denier, silver paint patroller. Now this is where you could use one of your cap breakers, right? If you have one set, two sets, doesn't matter. This build will be fine no matter how many cap breakers you have. You could put it into block to get a 93 block for gold paint patroller, which I think is going to be really nice on this build. I think gold paint patroller is the sweet spot when it comes to block rating, so I like gold paint patroller. I like it on my builds. I mean, we had to have high block for Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan is, I'm pretty sure, the all-time leader in blocks in the postseason. So yeah, we got to have at least a 93 block. And then we're gonna have an 82 offensive rebound, 94 defensive rebound. Now if you want, you could just put your cap breakers in the D board. You get 99 D board. If you only have one set, if you have two sets, you could go 93 block, 99 D board, do whatever you want. Or if you have like the individual cap breakers, you could slowly start putting them there. So let's say you have like two, you could go 5 in the block for gold paint patroller and then put 2 on defensive rebound to get 96 D board. So that's always an option. Then coming down here to the physicals, we have a 66 speed, 55 agility, so a little bit off the maximum there, a little bit off the maximum here. I think the max is 69 speed. You won't tell the difference between 66 and 69 speed. 91 strength for the gold brick wall, gold post move lockdown, gold post powerhouse, all those really good badges we get on this build. And then an 80 vertical for the gold high flying denier. Like I mentioned, there's 3 requirements for that, so you need 88 block, 66 speed, and 80 vertical. So this is the Tim Duncan build. Obviously, there's so many different ways that you can make this build because Tim Duncan is a very difficult player to make in this game. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He is the greatest power forward of all time, so you're not gonna have enough attributes to make a Tim Duncan build in this game, even if you have 20 plus cap breakers. Actually, no, if you have 20 plus cap breakers, you could probably make something pretty insane. But yeah, this is the Tim Duncan build. And as we come out on the My Player Builder, you're going to get shades of number 1, Tim Duncan. Then we get Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley. Really great player shades. Really glad I got the Timmy D shade. And we're going to get the build name of Versatile Enforcer, which is a pretty common name, but I thought it was very nice to get on this build. Now, we pretty much are at the end of this video, but I do want to give you guys just a little bit of update as to what in the world is going on in my life. Now, if you guys do not know, I live in Florida, okay? Florida, sunny weather, nice, warm temperatures. That's what you think of, right? No, I woke up to snow in my front yard. So yeah, that was fun. I got to watch it snow in Florida for one of the first times in pretty much my entire life. I have seen snow before in other states, but I've just never seen it snow in Florida. So that was absolutely insane. Just wanted to point that out really quickly because that's been like one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. We've had the craziest weather sequence over the past year. We've gone from having a tornado, 3 straight hurricanes, to now a winter storm, and we had one of the hottest summers ever. Now we're having one of the coldest winters ever. Yeah, things are getting interesting over here. That's gonna be for today's video, man. I'm out. Later.